With Senior Bowl week coming to an end this past Saturday, it's time to take a look at who impressed and who might have hurt their draft stock a little bit. Welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this Senior Bowl edition of Billievers Talk, where we take a look at the 2020 Senior Bowl and tell you who I think the Bills should be taking more of a look at, and maybe some guys that didn't impress as much as we would like to see and might be moving down some draft boards. Again, my name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, you want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to keep you updated on all Buffalo Bills news this whole off season. Not only do we keep you updated on the Buffalo Bills, I'm going to keep you updated on the Sabres, who had a disappointing loss yesterday to the Senators, and all Buffalo sports. So go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button. After you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell. We'll notify you when we have new content coming out. So again, thank you guys for joining for this Senior Bowl edition. Before I really get into it, guys, I do want to apologize for not having more content out sooner. On Saturday, I got us hyped for the All-Star game and the Pro Bowl by letting us know who's representing Buffalo. Of course, Sunday, the devastating news that Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash and kind of took the whole sports world by shock, took the whole sports world aback a little bit, and that includes myself. And so I wasn't sure when was the right time to come out and post new content. So I do apologize. I know it's been close to a week since I posted something new, but I do plan on having you covered this whole off season. And I know this Senior Bowl coverage is a little late, but it's here. So again, thank you guys for understanding, and I hope that you guys enjoy this video. So again, we're going to talk about the Senior Bowl. We're going to talk about some of the guys that really impressed me as it comes to the Senior Bowl, and the guys that are playing positions that the Bills will be seeking come the NFL draft, right? Things that would affect our Buffalo Bills. And I think a good place to start is with that edge rush. I believe I put that in the top 3 of my major concerns for the Buffalo Bills, something that I do want to address at the NFL draft. Now, some of you are going to be saying, hey, let's address wide receiver. I really actually don't address wide receiver at all in this episode. As most of you know, during the Senior Bowl, a lot of the wide receivers actually end up getting hurt. Not a lot, but a few. Talking about Pittman from USC and a couple others who end up getting hurt during Senior Bowl week, unable to play in the game. You guys know how much I like Colin Johnson from Texas. He had a pretty good Senior Bowl week and a good Senior Bowl game. So that's someone that has impressed me. That's someone that I'm probably going to fall in love with as we get closer and closer to the draft. Definitely look forward to seeing him at the NFL Combine. But I wanted to start at the edge position. Defensive end obviously was struggles at times for the Buffalo Bills this season, something that they struggled with. And I want to take a look at a guy that really impressed me out of Utah. That's Bradley Anae out of Utah. Defensive end, did a great job, listed at 6'3", 265 pounds. He did a great job coming off that edge. He had a great game at the Senior Bowl. And you're talking about a guy who did a great job at practice showing off his explosiveness off the ball, right? Did a great job getting off the ball quickly. In his career, had 131 tackles, 40 tackles for a loss. So this is a guy that knows how to get there behind line of scrimmage and knows how to tackle behind line of scrimmage, right? He doesn't get plowed over too often. You don't see him getting trucked by running backs or other players. So 40 tackles for a loss, 29.5 sacks over his career, and 5 forced fumbles. In 2019 alone, you're talking about 14 tackles for a loss and 13 sacks. So pretty impressive numbers there out of Utah. We wanted to see how we would do against comparable competition at the Senior Bowl. I think all systems go there. It looks pretty good for Bradley Anae out of Utah. Look at him to jump up some draft boards. He was originally projected, according to WalterSports.com, as a 3rd to 5th round draft pick, right? Projected somewhere in that 3rd day. Would not be surprised if he solidified himself as at least a round 2 candidate for a team. Maybe the Buffalo Bills can grab him late in round 1, or maybe use one of the later trade picks, move up in round 2, pick him up there. I think this would be a great addition. A guy, again, who knows how to get to the quarterback. So you're talking about 29.5 sacks over there in Utah. Pretty good deal there. Had a great Senior Bowl week. Had a good game. Had 2 sacks on the game, I believe. So that's someone you definitely want to be keeping an eye out for in this NFL draft. A guy that really liked coming into this process, and a guy that did nothing but impressed me the week of Senior Bowl week. So expect Bradley and I to keep his stock moving up and see him moving up on draft boards. We'll see how he does at the NFL Combine, but as of right now, he's looking like a really good round 2, maybe early round 3 if you're lucky type pick. Some of the Buffalo Bills should be looking at. Next guy on my list, I know a lot of people are talking about tall wide receivers, right? I talked about with Colin Johnson from Texas. But guys, what if we got a tall tight end instead? What if we got a tight end who could be like a 1-2 combo with Dawson Knox on the other side, some safety blanket for Josh Allen in the middle of the field, and someone that you can still put outside in the red zone who could be good at those jump balls? And I'm talking about 6'6" tight end from Dayton, Adam Troutman. Again, a guy who you probably wouldn't see too much of going into the Senior Bowl week, right? A guy that we don't get to watch Dayton games on TV. They're normally not on. So you're talking about a guy who played for a smaller school. So it was always a question as how well he would do against comparable competition, right? And he showed up Senior Bowl week, and he did not disappoint. He used his great hands, great blocking ability, and we know how much Coach McDermott and Brian Dable love tight ends that can block downfield. This guy can do that, and he has a catching radius that's insane for a guy who's 6'6". So really looking at this guy, Adam Troutman had 70 catches in 2019 for 916 yards and 14 touchdowns. So you're talking about a guy who can get into the end zone as well, which is very important. Be a big red zone target. Again, talking about a 6'6" tight end. Watch Adam Troutman maybe even work his way up to #1 tight end on people's draft boards with his performance at the Senior Bowl. He was like 3rd or 5th according to WalterSports.com. He was a projected 3rd to 5th round draft pick. Again, maybe see him early round 3, but maybe see him solidify himself as a round 2 prospect. Let me know what you think in the comment section about Adam Troutman, and what do you think about maybe getting that tight end, maybe skipping on a wide receiver till later, because we know the wide receiver draft is stacked, right? We know that it runs deep, so we know that we can wait on a wide receiver. What do you say about getting a 6'6" tight end who can catch the ball downfield, who can block in the running game, who can pretty much do it all? I like this guy a lot. I know that we need help at tight end. Remember, we have Jason Kroom and Tyler Kroft potentially both becoming unrestricted free agents this season. Means that tight end room's getting a little empty. Let's fill it up, and let's fill it up in a big way. Picking up a 6'6" guy, Adam Troutman. Watch him as the draft process continues to move forward. Those are 2 guys I really like. My 3rd guy on this list who really impressed me this whole week, and also in the Senior Bowl if you're watching, LSU guard Damian Lewis, okay? If you watched him play, again, we talked about how offensive line, especially at guard position, is a major need for the Buffalo Bills. I brought up a couple guards in my Who to Look Out For video, including one that did not impress that we'll talk about in a little bit. But one guy that really did impress, Damian Lewis out of LSU. Again, a guy that's projected, according to WalterFootball.com, to be a day 3 type draft pick. Might have worked his way up into day 2, because let's not only forget that they played on Saturday, but they also just played, since he plays for LSU, in the national championship game. So he real quickly got in a plane, got to Alabama, and went ahead and learned the playbook really quick, faster than a lot of other players did, and was able to get in there and make a difference. Again, a guard out of LSU, Damian Lewis, 6'3", 322 pounds, projected to go in the 4th to 6th round. Maybe someone who moved himself into day 2 of the NFL draft instead of day 3. But he's a quality blocker in the run game. You saw that a lot on Saturday, I should say. Again, I was very impressed with him. Good hands, good run blocking ability, like I said. Good lead block on, if you watch the game, on the South's first touchdown, that pitch. He was the one leading the way, had a great block to seal off the edge and get that running back into the end zone. Lay a little too fast, right? There was a screen play where, I think it was the same screen actually, where it looked like he might have been illegally downfield, maybe a yard or 2 short. But again, you want to make sure that if it's a pass play, if it's a screen play that's not behind the line of scrimmage, they don't get caught in no man's land and find yourself getting a penalty for your offense. But other than that, I thought he played a great game the whole time through. Again, really pushing his weight around and continuing to help with the run game. And the pass game was pretty good with the pass game, definitely better better at run blocking, but that's someone at right guard that I really liked in this game. So watch out for Damian Lewis, maybe working his way up to a day 2 pick instead of that 4-6 round range that Walter Football had him at. Maybe looking at maybe a 3rd round type range, and someone that the Buffalo Bills might be looking at to solidify the offensive line. Remember, the Bills losing 2 offensive guards to free agency as it stands right now, with both Spain and Waddle still not under contract. So maybe look to see us look at the NFL draft and say, hey, we can find a really good guard right here in Damian Lewis. Another guy that really impressed me in this game, you're talking about Josh Kelly, running back from UCLA. The guy is listed as a 3rd to 5th round draft pick, just where we got our current running back, Singletary. We could pick up Josh Kelly around the same time, give ourselves a nice 1-2 punch. Maybe we like TJ Yeldon for a year, that's fine. But who would you have after that? Who's coming in after Yeldon's contract's over? You look at a guy like Josh Kelly, 5'11", 204 pounds. They're saying they're projecting him to run about 4.5 40 time, which is exactly what Devin Singletary did last year. This would be a nice compliment. 1-2 guy. You're talking about in this game, had over 100 yards of offense. For UCLA, he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in 2018 and 2019. Definitely someone that you could put in there who can add a little bit of a punch. If Devin Singletary, is the first 2 downs, you bring in this guy, defense is a little more worn out. He can definitely gash you as well, as we saw on Saturday in the Senior Bowl. So again, I like Josh Kelly out of UCLA. One more guy that I really like, gives you my top 5 guys that I liked, and that's defensive end Allen Robinson. Again, another thing about the edge, we need a lot of edge help. So maybe this guy could come in as well as as well as the previous guy that I mentioned in, let me get his name back down, Bradley Anae. So we can definitely get some more help at the edge, or we can look at one of these 2 guys and say, hey, this guy, this Allen Robinson will be around, Alton Robinson, I should say, should be around later in the draft. It's projected to be about a day 3 draft pick as well out of Syracuse. 2 sacks in the game on Saturday, so someone that I would expect to see moving up some draft boards, someone that the Bills might want to take a look at, someone that I was not looking at before Saturday's game, and that's the great thing about this Reese's, the Senior Bowl game. Thank you. I couldn't think of the name. Senior Bowl game. You get to see players that you normally wouldn't see. Talk about that tight end from Dayton. Talk about this defensive end from Syracuse. Some guys that you normally don't get to see, and they look like they did pretty well. So let's get to some of these guys that I was not impressed with, okay? And one of these guys was a guy that I wanted us to look out for as Bills fans. I even said it in the show before. I think it was on Friday that I posted about who to look out for, and that's going to be John Simpson out of Clemson. I was excited to see John Simpson at Clemson, offensive guard. Thought we could take him as a day 3 draft pick, and it's still possible. It's still possible. You still have the NFL Combine where you can show up there and do some good work. But he really struggled in this whole week, in this whole process. Struggled with his base. Had a few false start penalties on Saturday. Back-to-back plays, actually. He had 2 in a row. So really disappointing to see John Simpson struggle that way. And another guy that I was not impressed with on the offensive line, Texas Tech's Terrence Steele. He really got beat the whole game, and man, he really got chewed out by the Bengals coach on the sideline just for not doing his job on Saturday. He really did not look well as well. He was struggling all week, according to the coaching staff. So Terrence Steele out of Texas Tech, someone that I'm not hoping the Bills get unless they get him late, unless they get good value. And again, these things can all change depending on the NFL Combine. Cornerback, some Buffalo Bills fans say we need to get cornerback again, and that's fine. We need a second cornerback to be next to our boy Trey White. Reggie Robinson, cornerback out of Tulsa, did not impress me in this game. I thought the stock was definitely down. He had a holding on his first pass attempt that wasn't called, but it was definitely a hold. That was just, he had bad positioning, and he wasn't able to find the ball in the air, so he held. And again, it was not called on the field, but it should have been called, and it's just something that I don't want to see come Sundays for our Buffalo Bills. Not really that great tackling on Saturday either. He definitely had some chances there to knock some running backs backwards, or maybe to even just take him down, and the running backs were able to get past him some. broke his tackle, and even if they didn't break his tackle, falling forward every time, not something you want to see. I know the cornerback's not used to tackling those big guys, but when they do have to tackle, you'd like to see him wrap up, go low, and make sure that the running back does not gain any more yards down the field, whether it be dragging you for a couple yards, falling forward, or just breaking your tackle altogether. Not something that you want to see. So he was down on my list on Saturday. Talk about Akeem Edge. I'm going to mess up this name, guys. Offensive tackle Hakeem Adjurigi from he was just slow off the ball playing for the South. He missed some run blocks there. I think he's from Kansas, if I do remember correctly. I didn't write down my notes here. But just someone that I was not impressed with on Saturday either. You talk about this offensive line. That's where games are won and lost, is on the line. So you talk about these two players, maybe need to look somewhere else as far as Simpson or Ajay from Kansas. Maybe look earlier, get some of those guards that I was talking about in my positive part of this video. Another guy was down on another offensive tackle. Offensive line, I should say, Nick Harris from Washington. He mostly plays center anyway, so that's not a place Buffalo would be looking, as we got Mitch Morse, but definitely did not do a good job on Saturday. Missed some key blocks. Definitely, they say it was much better when he gets a little help, but at this level, you're not going to get that type of help. This is now the NFL. You're facing bigger guys. Now you're not facing as many nose tackles, right? You're facing a 4-3 defense, so you can definitely help out in that end. But when you do face those 3-4 defense, you need a center who can handle the nose tackle one-on-one. He did not prove that to me on Saturday. So those are my likes and dislikes from the Senior Bowl. Again, lots of action this whole week, so make sure you leave a comment. Let me know who you liked in this game. Let me know who you didn't like in this game, who maybe lost a little bit on their stock draft positioning on the board, and let me know how excited you are for the Buffalo Bills NFL draft. Guys, I'll have you covered here, mock drafts, doing some stocks, talking about the NFL Combine, talking about free agency. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and again, let me know who you liked on Saturday. And again, I do apologize for the delay in getting this out there. Again, with the Kobe situation on Sunday, still a lot of people mourning that loss. The sports world still realizing that, hey, we lost an icon in the industry, and that's really unfortunate. So again, to everyone who was affected by this tragedy, my prayers, my thoughts go out to you, and I'm just sorry that this had to happen. Again, thank you guys for joining me. Again, hit that like button. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.